Alright, quadratic inequalities. Can you recall back? Can you recall how do we write the quadratic equation? Quadratic equation should be written in ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. So this is quadratic equations. But if we have a quadratic inequalities instead, we must have 4 different kind of inequalities, such that first one is more than 0, second one is more than or equal to 0, the third one is less than 0, and the last one will be less than or equal to 0. Instead of this table, or I call it as DOS, we will have few intervals. We will have few value of x according to the interval, okay, which is within the interval, and then one of the factors from the quadratic equation, and another factors from the quadratic equations, and the last one is the multiplications of both factors. So here will give you your answer. Here will be our answer, where we will write it in terms of either solution set with the curly bracket or an interval solution with either a open interval or a closed interval. Okay, let's check it out, some examples below. Okay, example 6. Solve the following quadratic inequalities. So question A, we have 3x times with x minus 5 less than or equals to 2 times with 2x minus 3. So now what we need to do is first expand it, and we're gonna get 3x squared minus 15x less than or equals to 4x minus 6, and then we solve it. We're gonna get this one, okay, and then we simplify this part, which gonna give us 3x squared minus 19x plus 6 less than or equals to 0, and here we need to factorize it, and it's gonna give us here 3x and x, we're gonna get 3x squared, and here 1 times with 6, therefore I'm gonna get negative 18 minus 1, which is negative 19x. Therefore, if we make this as an equations that equals to 0, we will get the value of x, which is 1 over 3 or x equals to 6. So these two values of x is very important. It's very important to be put in table of sign. Okay, so I'm going to highlight these two values of x so that you know that this is very important to be inside of the table of sign. So let the features that will be in the TOS, which is the first part is intervals, the second part is x, the third part is a factor from your inequality, which is this one. Please look at the inequality where you have factorized the quadratic equation already. Okay, so this green box will be our main focus here. So put in your factor, which is 3x minus 1, and another one is x minus 6. Put in both factors, okay, and the last part here will be both factors multiplied together. Now, the important thing that we have to put in, which is the value of x here. So these two values of x will be listed out on the table of sign, okay, where you're gonna make sure that it follows the ascending order. Okay, the ascending order will be having a 1.3 in front as the smallest number, and at the back will be 6 as the biggest number. And so on the in the interval row, I will be writing down 1/3, 6 as a beginning. Okay, don't put any bracket yet, just stay like that first. And then on the right hand side, I will write down 6 until it reach a positive infinity, close bracket, sorry, an open bracket. Okay, because yeah, positive infinity. On the left hand side, you're gonna have a negative infinity until it reach 1/3. So now you need to be careful what kind of bracket you will be choosing. So is it going to be a closed bracket or an open bracket? So the answer to that question is actually here. This one shows you whether it's an open or a closed bracket. So what we have here is an equal sign. Therefore, if you have an equal sign, meaning it's gonna give us a closed bracket. So you put closed bracket for all of the rest number here. Okay, so now you can proceed to finding the value of x, which gonna give us, so within here is this is 0.3, therefore before 0.3 I'm gonna choose 0. It's easier for me. So in between here I'm gonna choose 1 because it's easier, and here I will be choosing 7. So now I need to put in whatever I have choose here, 0, to be inside of each of these factors. Okay, and I'll calculate it whether I get a positive or negative. So 0 times with 3 is 0. 0 minus 1 is -1, which is going to give me a negative sign. Only put the negative sign or positive signs. So here 1 times with 3 is 3 minus 1 is 2, therefore I get a positive. 7 times 3 is 21, minus 1 is 20, is going to get a positive. So 0 minus with 6 gonna give me -7, -6, that's why it's negative sign. And now 1 minus with 6 gonna give me -5, 7 minus 6 going to give me +1. Therefore I multiply both of this. I'll multiply both of this, which is negative gonna give me positive, negative gonna give me negative, positive gonna give me a positive. So now how should I choose which one will be my answer? Again, it's according to your green box, which is focus at your what kind of color that I must choose. So I must choose my answer according to this particular inequality, which is less than. If you have less than, this shows us less than. If you have a less than, meaning you must choose a negative sign at the end of the answer, which is a negative sign here. Therefore our answer will be exactly this interval that we have written on the first part. Therefore our interval answer is 1.1/3 until 6 included. Okay, and as the solution said, my answer is having a curly bracket, which is x, such that x is in between 1/3 and 6. But don't forget, this is a closed bracket. If you have a closed bracket here, meaning you must have an equal sign over there. This is your answer.